Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it is Monday. It's February 26th. This will be our chart listing for today. And just a quick look at our daily chart as usual. When we start off our chart lesson, you can see we had a little, it looked like it was mostly sideways, but we did close down today, particularly from where we closed on Friday. So I'd call this a down day, although most of the day was mostly sideways. But there was a trend down inside that range. And we did close somewhat near the lows for the day. So it's a mild down day is the way I would describe it. Looks like we opened at 50.95 and traded down to 50.76 and closed around 50.77.50. So there it is. You can see the day. Let's flip over and look at it on the 2000 tick chart and get a better look at it. But here's the 2000 tick chart. You can see we had this range going on. We had a little failed break lower. And usually, even if prices, make sure you understand this. This is how you trade ranges. Usually on a breakout, even if it's going to continue on like it did today, it will fail at first. And it'll come back and it'll test those areas. And they'll either hold and go lower or it'll get back in the range and try to go higher. Here we tried to go higher multiple times and then eventually went lower. So most all breakouts will fail initially, even if only momentarily. So just make sure you remember that. You don't usually enter with the breakout. You need to see prices tested a few times and hold, and then go lower. So definitely a range day for the most part, although we did break out, eventually trend lower before the day was over. And we closed almost on the low. So that was kind of interesting because usually they'll take most of this back. But this is not a huge sell-off. Just pretty mild. We'll see what tomorrow brings, but that's what it looks like today. Not a lot of trades today, but there's a few of them here. But let's zoom in, go through the trades, and we'll wrap this day up. But you can see the first short right here. 7 o'clock came. Actually, the first long was down here. Actually, we were in this. You can see there's very low volume early on, almost very little, if any, volume really. But we did get this trend line, and we confirmed it right here. There's a hidden second entry in there, and so we did get a slight close outside a new low, and then it rocketed up. I wouldn't enter this on the engulfing channel. I'd wait till this closes. It's just a first entry, but like I said, it's a bit of a trap right there. It's at the trend line. It does confirm the trend line. So maybe you take that trade. I marked it green. It's not ideal, but you can see that there's a move down, a correction, then we move back down again. So there's a hidden second entry in there. It's not really a failure either. So it's just a pullback. And we're making higher highs and higher lows here. So there's still plenty of room to get out if you want to take that trade. So maybe you take it. We come back again here, and we do get a close outside and a bounce. But again, you have this channel, no break or no new low or anything. It just, if this would have broke lower and then turned up, I would say enter that second entry on the engulfing bar. But it doesn't break lower. It's still a second entry right there, but it's not an ideal setup at all, so I just wait. And of course, we run up here and we find resistance, and then finally you get that little break higher. And normally I'd tell you to probably even wait for a lower high here, but you got that triple test right there. It's a 3-bar matching high, and we close back inside this pink range. So a break lower there, go with it, because you do have your close outside your channel here. You got to close outside here, but it's more convincing. It's convincing here. Here I wouldn't say that's a convincing close outside. And then you run up and you get a couple of swings up to a new high. And then when you get those 3-bar matching highs and a little failed break out of this range, I like going short there. Just make sure you got enough room to get out. This drops on down, and then we got a nice little channel here, but you get this break. And you could draw your trend channel here if you wanted to. I didn't draw it. It wasn't necessarily It was more sideways back here, by here than it really was a rally or a channel up. But you can argue there's a channel there, and so you get your break, you get a little two-legged correction, and then it moves to a new high. And notice you get a first entry, second entry, and it's right at the highs of the range. It does break out, but it closes back inside, so I think you're fine, especially on that second entry after the break and two legs up to a new high. I think you're good to go short right there. There's a lower high here, but signal bar doesn't qualify. And then we're bouncing here. You get a close outside. This actually does run to a new low right here. And then this one runs to a new high, and it just turns down again right at the trend line. And the way you can play this one, it's just a first entry. There's another hidden second entry there. If that doesn't make sense to you, it's probably a little too advanced. Don't worry about it too much. But basically, if you went to a slightly smaller chart, you would clearly see a move up, a correction right there, and then a second leg up. But you won't see it at this level. That's more advanced again for more experienced traders. But basically, you get a double top right here, and you close inside that trend line. You get a hidden second entry. I marked it green because it's not a perfect entry, but there's reasons to like that trade. Of course, we do drop on down, and we do get a close outside here and a new low. Then we get this one working up, close outside and new high. I didn't mark this one. It is a second entry. You do get a close outside and a new high, but we just came off the lows of the channel, and there's a good chance that we're probably going to try to go up and back to the original trend line. Again, there's reasons that maybe you take that. You could probably argue for it to be green. And then we turn down, and we just bounce down here. You get a triple test here. Although this makes a new low, you might take this one. I didn't mark it. I felt like you needed to wait on a higher low, but maybe you take that trade. You can argue it's a triple test. This really feels like more just congestion, so maybe just one test since they weren't real close together. A higher low here is better because technically you probably also should draw your channel, and you can see there's no close outside that channel yet either. And so that's another reason to maybe just sit tight. I normally don't draw the retest here because there's a close outside here, but again, it's not super convincing. This one's convincing with two legs, so when we make that new low right there, that's a reason to maybe take that trade, but I just didn't like because it's still in that channel. But we get the higher low right here. I like going long there. And your expectations, we're probably going to run back up here because we didn't make it this time. And if we don't make it again, this thing might get bearish. But it runs up here and we actually get a break this time. Turns down. There's no close outside this yet. So you're probably going to get an attempt at a new high. And this is a double bottom here. So notice you get a first entry, second entry. And we've got at least a triple test there, but we don't have a new high yet, so maybe just wait and see what happens, and then just 2 bars later you get a lower high, and now you can clearly argue you got a triple test. And so I like going short there. And this thing runs down all the way down and makes a new low, and so now there's a chance we could bounce, although the lows of the range were way down here, and this thing just takes off. I didn't like, you already had a break and a move to a new low. You could get another leg down like we did, but I would at least draw my trend channel, and it's probably more like that right there. And you get a close outside, but you never get a new high. It does break higher, but it doesn't give you a new high. Again, maybe you take that trade. It's just a first entry though. You can't really argue it's a triple test. It's just and we've already had a break in a new low, so I really think you got to sit tight on that one. If you took it, I mean, if you realize it's aggressive and you take it, maybe. But the bottom, it just runs on down. Two quick legs down, another little two-legged correction. Technically, that's the second entry when that goes by, but that's just too much sideways there down at the bottom of the range. And you actually get an overshoot here and a failed break out of the, you get an overshoot on the dark gray channel right here, but you also get this break out of the range that fails. I don't think you want to take the low there, but when you get this higher low, it breaks lower, turns up, and closes higher. Go long above that bar. It's a long way away from the EMA. It's an overshoot. You've got a break of this khaki and a new low. Everything's in place for it to run higher again or back into the range at a minimum, or at least come back and test the breakout area again. And that's what it does. It comes up here, and you don't get anything solid here to go long or shorts. And then you get a second leg up. Technically, this is two legs up. I think the second leg is a little more than a measured leg. But it's by the count, it's not a second entry, and the signal bar is not really any good anyway, so I don't think you want to go short there. But you get your first break, and you do run to a new high, and you get two legs up there. So that's a second entry short right there, with a very nice signal bar. I like going short there because this is played out to the upside. You got your break, two legs up. If you get a lower high, you'd probably want to take it too, but you don't get one. It just kind of runs on down. It bounces off the support, turns lower. It keeps bouncing, but it's just not really going anywhere, and that takes you into 230. And I mean, that's really tempting. It's a triple test. If it closed outside the support, that bearish, maybe you go short with it, but you just can't go short right into that heavy support there, especially since this is after 230. I mean, it's just a minute or so. But you know, sometimes if you get a really good setup, a minute or so after 230, you can take it, but just don't continue to take trades after that because you'll end up. It's just the volume a lot of times will dry up and you'll get whipsawed on the closing when people close and they start exiting all their trades, and just better not to enter after. And plus, the other big thing is if you have a loss up here, back up here at 8 or 9 o'clock, well, you got all day to make it up. But if you have a loss at 2:30, well, you only got a very short period of time, and you probably won't be able to make it up. So that's another reason that it's a little dangerous to trade after 2:30. So not a lot of great trades today, but there are some. At least we had a trend. Still, the bigger picture was mostly range-like today with a lot of mixed trading. But the bigger picture for a while was this trend until we got a break here and moved to a new low. And then it was just kind of sideways till we headed lower yet again. So there it is. That's how I saw it. Again, not the greatest trading day, but we've had worse lately. So we'll see what tomorrow brings. Will we get some follow-through selling, or like usual, will we rally tomorrow? Usually it's been rare that we get any follow-through selling, but we didn't have that big sell-off today, so we could continue to creep lower for now. If we go back and look at that daily chart, let's do that. If we come back and look at that, we may finally be topping out up here. This really looks correct on this bigger green channel. And then the smaller blue one, I mean, they both look really good to me. The only problem I see with the blue one is that we keep bouncing off the highs. And, you know, we're just kind of bouncing in no man's land. We're bouncing off the midline of the bigger green one, and we're not even coming back. So I'm not saying this one's wrong, but we're going to watch it. But it looks like we're definitely playing the green channel. And maybe this is finally the top of it. We'll just have to see. So, but that's how I saw it. We'll see what tomorrow brings. But I'm going to wrap it up for today. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.